Christmas was beginning to recover from the Dave Allen treatment, here he is again in his show that was first transmitted on New Year's Eve last year.
There's an audience for everything these days, isn't there? Can't get anywhere by yourself. I don't know how you feel about what is called the 12 days of Christmas, the festive season, but we're only halfway through it, and I'm actually bog-eyed with exhaustion. Totally. I mean, the only reason I'm doing this show is when they said to me, would you like to do a show? And I thought, good. That'll give me a rest from the holiday. I mean, I don't know whether I'm getting older. Well, I know I'm getting older. And I'm quite happy to get older, when you consider the alternative. But I'm beginning to find that Christmas is becoming much more stressful. I mean, years ago, I could actually deal with things like Christmas tree lights. Now, I'm one of those few people, actually, I don't bring my Christmas tree into the house until Christmas Eve. The lights work perfectly. Looks beautiful. 2 hours before the shops close, every little bastard light goes. And for the next 2 hours, I am scampering like a lunatic around London, like a demented lunatic, in ever-increasing circles, searching madly for one little green Christmas tree light that was made in Taiwan in 1967. Even with the Christmas tree, what is this lunacy with Christmas trees? What is this need we have at Christmas, because a young Jewish child was born in Palestine, we suddenly say, we've got to bring Christmas trees into a house? Can you imagine at any other time of the year, if you brought a tree into the house? With silver balls on it, and a fairy on the top, it'd put you away. Now, actually, this year, to ensure that I got a good Christmas tree this year, I went and picked it earlier. I got it 2 weeks ago. And it was perfect. Beautiful shape. Wonderful, wonderful shape. Dark green, thick, bushy. That was then. Now it looks like it's suffering from acid rain. Even the fairy on the top is losing his hair. I spent half of Christmas sweeping up, cleaning up those pine needles so many times that the bag on the side of my Hoover looks like a fat porcupine. Now, the only thing regarding Christmas and Christmas trees is it's not only difficult to get a Christmas tree, but if you think back over the past Christmas, it's even more difficult to get rid of the bloody thing. I mean, you try getting rid of the Christmas tree at the end of Christmas, the dustman won't take it. You can't burn it because you live in a smokeless zone. And you find yourself, after the Christmas, surreptitiously creeping around your neighborhood, trying to find a builder's skip. And you can't find one, so you dump it in somebody's garden. And you think, thank Christ, got rid of it! Come back to your own house and there's 2 Christmas trees. tell you, to me, as an Irishman, the most annoying thing about Christmas is wrapping paper. Now, why can't the manufacturers of wrapping paper make wrapping paper so large that it can wrap up 2 presents? Why is it always just 1.5? It's actually got to the point now that I buy my presents to fit the paper. I buy a big present and a small present. And the other thing I've noticed about Christmas, you buy a box of crackers, and it says, made in Great Britain with foreign parts. Aren't we all? And the thing about that, the crackers, it's not the crackers so much, it's the hats. The hats you get in those. Why can't they fit? I mean, what, you either get them slipping over your eyes, or they sit there perched on the top of the head. Now, who do they test these hats out on? I mean, are there 2 fellows in Singapore sitting in some little sweatshop, one with an enormous head, and one with a head 3 7/8? Oh, this for me, all for you. Oh. The thing is that indoor fireworks, too. Have you seen it? Indoor fireworks. The serpent. You light it. Zzz, bingo! Dog turd. It looks exactly like dog turd. Mount Vesuvius. Dog turd. Hot air Zeppelin. A flying dog turd. It is actually one of the most stressful times of the year for all families. Are under tremendous stress. And if you watch yourself over the Christmas, your family become enemies. Everybody needs wiping out. A smile tightens. Your voice, which used to be ho, 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 is now up to, no, you can't! Stop it! Put it down! If anybody does that again, my cracker! My God, we're meant to be having a good time! Find yourself to... Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Boom! Stop it! Stop it! Boom! One of the things I've noticed about changing Christmas, you can actually get a room full of children together now and sit them all down in a room, and if you say to all these children, who was born in a stable? They'll all say, My Little Pony. Now the most obscene dolls I've ever seen are these Cabbage Patch dolls. I mean, look, who inspired them? A moron? I mean, have you looked at them? Those close little eyes and... Have a little hand. And you get a birth certificate with them. You adopt them. The Americans are actually totally bananas about them. There's a whole black market has sprung up around Cabbage Patch dolls. They'll go anywhere. They'll do anything to get them. They'll scream for them. They'll fight for them. They'll die for them. Maybe in a few years' time, they might even elect one as a president. As a matter of fact, they probably have already. I mean, the dolls now are extraordinary. I mean, they really are extraordinary. They walk, they talk, they can urinate. I was looking at a doll that actually chews. It comes together with a kind of mushed up type food. And the child can actually feed, and sit. And the child puts the food in, and the jaws work. And it has a digestive system. Until it eventually comes out in a nappy. And the child takes it off the nappy and goes through the whole process again. I didn't invent it. It's rather like eating a Big Mac. Well, I actually think it's about time that we got on with the show, don't you? Come to me, my little friends of the air. Come to me.
So 'twas true what the good wizard told me, and now at last is my true love found.
This day, the 14th of October, 1066, shall either be a glorious or black day in the annals of our Saxon history. Our kingdom has been invaded by William of Normandy. His armies have landed at Hastings, marched 10 English miles, and now both armies stand prepared to do battle. He from Senlac Hill, and we from this place. What is this place? Where are we? Open this door, Llewellyn.
I will not, J.R.
Llewellyn, when you don't open this door, I'll break it down.
Well, you just try. You get out of my room, you.
Llewellyn. I'm a man.
I told you, J.R. Get out of here.
Don't you J.R. me. We're gonna make love. After all, you are my wife.
Only on paper.
All right, Sue Ellen. That's the way you want to play it. Lovely lady walking by at the end. She didn't even see that body coming out of the sun. This really is what I would call a silly season for gifts. Somebody actually gave me a pen that writes underwater. I mean, in the first place, why would I want to write underwater? If I was underwater, what would I be writing? I'm drowning. On the other hand, if I was underwater writing, what could I write on? Soggy paper? I saw a watch advertised that is so technically advanced, it will still operate at 50 fathoms. My immediate thought is, who's going to ask you what time it is? I mean, somebody comes out of the blue. And I went into a house recently, a friend of mine, who was in his house, standing in the middle of the room, and he's going... And I said, are you all right, Ken? He said, shh. I said, what are you whistling for? He said, my keys. I said, your keys? He said, yes, when I whistle at them, they let me know where they are. I say that they're in the kitchen? Is that what I say? I'm in the kitchen. Come and find me. I mean, this is lunacy. I was at a funeral recently. And I'm watching a coffin being lowered into the ground. And from inside the coffin, it suddenly goes, beep, 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 beep. And I said to the widow, I said, what's that? And she said, that was to remind him to take his pills. A bit late. I actually think this kind of, what I would call technological invention or technological advancement is really a series of gadgetry for gadgetry's sake. And I was reading quite recently where somebody has invented a telephone for the deaf. It doesn't ring, it just lights up. Trying to work that out, aren't you? I mean, you actually think with our hearing and our sight, we have enough to kind of communicate with each other, with machines especially. Now machines talk to us. We need talking machines. Alarm clocks. There's an alarm clock in the market. I was listening to it and looking at it. And it's polite. It's terribly polite, and it repeats everything. It's like a Mormon. When it wakes you up in the morning, you shout at it. It'll start saying, "Good morning, this is your alarm call. This is your alarm call. This is your alarm call. Shut up! Shut up!" And it stops. It doesn't kind of whinge or, "Don't speak to me like that." The next time you ask the time, "What time is it?" "Promise not to shout at me." Talking, I mean, I was recently in a building, we're talking lifts. The lift. Listen. "Please stand back. These doors are about to close." And it's an American voice, actually. It does it much more casual because it's an American lift. And it does it much more casual. "Please stand back. These doors are about to close." And you hold the door and go, "Please stand back. These doors are about to close." "Please stand back. These doors are about to close. Otherwise, I'll break your arm." I don't like lifts. I was actually trapped in a lift. I was down in Wellington, New Zealand, and I was trapped in the lift. Now, when I was in it, it didn't actually bother me all that much. I wasn't all that bothered. I was trapped in the lift, so I sat there and I had a newspaper and I read the paper. And I kind of got up and I wandered around and I reread the paper. I looked at bits of the paper, but I was keeping myself occupied. And then I picked up the telephone, and that was engaged, which was quite interesting. And actually, there was one point I took out my wallet. Now, there's a point in every man's life, or as a boy, or as a youth, or whatever, there's a time we buy our first contraceptive. Not so much Irish people, but... The most amazing thing about the first contraceptive we all buy, we never use it. I mean, we open it up and we blow it up. And it goes, and you think, "God, who does that fit?" And then you put it back into your wallet and you leave it there. And then over the years, that little circle makes a kind of imprint in the leather. You throw the contraceptive away, but the imprint is always there. It's a kind of memory. And I was looking at my wallet going, Nice memories. And eventually I got out of the lift. The engineer got me out of the lift. And then he said to me, "You're in danger of suffering from claustrophobia." I said, "What?" He said, "Well, by getting into this lift and being trapped in it, you can develop a phobia. It's like falling off a bike or having a small accident in the car. The first thing you should actually do is either get back on your bike or drive the car. In your case, you should just get back into a lift immediately. It's very important that you do." He said, "Just get into the next door lift, just go up to the top and back down again. It'll only be 18 seconds. 3.5 hours. I was a total lunatic. Screaming demented. I cannot... Now, I don't like lifts. I don't worry about it. I'll get into them, I'll force myself into them, but I don't really like them. As soon as I get into them, I start to hyperventilate. I'll walk down the corridor. Have you ever noticed people in lifts? They get very quiet. When the lift is going up, do you know what we're all thinking? What shall I do if the cable breaks? And you know we've all reached the same decision? A split second before it hits the bottom, I'll jump up in the air. Recently, I was in New York recently. Now, as you know, they have very tall buildings. Now, I have to get to the 35th floor of this building. Now, there's no way I can walk. I mean, people say, "Will you come for dinner?" And I say, "Well, in that case, can I have breakfast?" So I get into this lift, and I actually hold it. The store is about to close. Shut up. I hold it because I'm waiting for somebody to come in, because I think if it breaks down, at least I'll have somebody to talk to. That's all I want. Somebody to talk to, not to panic. And nobody comes in. So I eventually say, oh, I've got to go. So I press the button, the doors, and I go, what did you do that for? What did you do it for? Now, to normal people in a lift, express lift, which it was, it just goes bing, 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 right through the floors. Bing, bing, bing. Me, I'm worried about the whole thing stopping. It's going bong. 2 hours later, it gets to another floor. Boing. And eventually it gets to the 34th floor. 35th floor, and it goes, and I go, oh, good. I'm standing in front of it. I can't get out of the doors quick enough. And they don't open. In 3 seconds, I've blown. I've gone. I'm trying to head my butt out of, breaking my nails, trying to get the crack of the door out. Eventually, somebody taps me on the shoulder. And I turn around, and the lift is filled with people. It's one of those lifts with alternate doors for alternate floors. You know, when they asked me to do the show, they phoned me up and said, we'd like you to do a Christmas show. Would you be interested? And I said, yes, of course I would. And they said, well, there's only one thing we'd like you to remember, that it is Christmas. And as it is a Christmas show, and it's all about Christmas, we'd like you to try and keep religion out of it. I would, if I could, but I can't.
The lines.
What?
The lines.
What lines?
The lines on the floor, my lord.
Yes. What about them?
If you walk on the lines, the fairies will get you.
Don't be silly. There's no such thing as fairies.
Oh, hello! Oh, have you seen the size of his crook?
Come on, you cow. I saw him first.
Come on, Ducky. We'll give you a hot time in the open tonight.
I told him. O Lord, protect the life of our beloved Archbishop, Thomas of Becket.
What ails thee, Brother Robert?
There are rumors, my lord. The king intends to kill thee.
Sadly, they are more than rumors. But we have nothing to fear from death. Our stay upon this earth is but a trial. Therefore, rather than being frightened of death, we should seek it and embrace it. Only then may we attain everlasting life.
Thank you, my lord. My courage is restored.
Ho! We are here on the king's business. Which one of you is Thomas of Becket?
He is.
Morning.
As I have said time and time again, but I think that it bears repetition, the theological orthodoxy expressed so fully in the 9th ecclesiastical consistory, corresponding
a wake-up call.
You probably gathered I was educated by the Catholic clergy. God's stormtroopers. One of the things I've never understand about the Catholic religion is what I would call the inequality between the sexes. I mean, as far as a woman is concerned, she enters the clergy, all she can do, the top job she can get, is Mother Superior. That's as far as she can go. Men can become priests, monsignors, bishops, archbishops, cardinals. They just keep on going up. And finally, the Pope. And the other thing I've never understood about religion is that the higher you go in rank in the Catholic Church, anyhow, the better your clothes get. You notice that? I mean, the priest, the little lowly priests, all drab, all black. Kind of monsignors move up, they get a little bit of color. And the bishops. The bishops, they can wear black and they can wear purple. They can wear black with red trimmings. Look, just slide up. The archbishops, they can wear black and purple. The cardinals can wear bright red. Black and purple. And the Pope, he can wear anything. He's got white, yellow, black, purple. Opens his wardrobe. He can wear rings, jewelry. Little hats, big hats, enormous hats. Can you see him in the morning open his wardrobe? Well, what shall I wear today? My matching accessories, eh? And the Pope, this Polish Pope, he's a great traveler. Have you noticed him traveling? Travels everywhere. And the extraordinary thing is, have you seen him when he gets out of an airplane? First thing he does is kneel down and kiss the ground. And whatever host country he arrives in, that's what he does. And all the people stand there and say, isn't that marvelous? Isn't that wonderful? This emissary from Rome comes to us, and out of admiration for our land, he kisses the ground. Crap. He's like me, he's bloody terrified of flying. He's down there saying, oh, I thank you, Corrida. Oh, I'll never fly again. You see, he's just been down to Australia. Sponsored by a brewery. Durex next. A brewery, isn't that amazing? That's when he kneels down and kisses the ground. All the Australians can say, "Hey, Poppy! Bottoms up, mud in your eye!" Stands up and he said, "I am the Bishop of Rome. I keep the keys of St. Peter. Where did I put them?" Beep, 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 beep. Oh, there they are. The Pope that we have actually at the moment is he's very strict in many ways regarding the teachings of the church. Birth control, he's very strict on. There's no such thing as birth control. There's no pill or sheath or anything like that. And quite recently, a mathematician worked out that if there's no sort of birth control in South America, by the year 2020, there will be standing room only. That'll put a stop to it. Do you know the only way you could bring me back into the Catholic Church is to have a Chinese Pope? I would love a Chinese Pope to be elected. Can you imagine receiving Holy Communion from a Chinese Pope? Kneels down. Oh, you're going to have this here or take away? I am what you might call a practicing atheist. I'm quite happy to be an atheist because I think actually God likes atheists better. We never ask him for anything. We're not bothering him all the time saying, oh God, please help me, I'm on this thing. And as a practicing atheist, there's certain things that I travel around the world, and no matter where I go, somebody called Gideon leaves me this book to read. It's an Irish book because it says it all began at the beginning. There are certain things that, when I read the Bible, and I do read the Bible, that I find difficult to understand. I mean, if God has been there forever, what was he doing before he got to us? I mean, what was he out there doing? Was he sitting there going, I'm bored today, what'll I do? I mean, suddenly from nowhere, he suddenly decided to create a world. I'll make a world, that's what. Make a world, yes, that's what I'll do. Rivers, seas, boom, mountains. Boom, everything's there. I want a garden. I'd like a nice garden. Whack! Gardening. Hate gardening. Need a garden. Ah, gardener, spit and dust. Adam. Hey! And he, Adam, never once says, where in the name of God did I come from? I mean, he's 40 years of age. He has no child, and he has no recall. He doesn't say, how did I get here? But he's quite happy. He just kind of trundles around the garden, working away. And God is looking at him. And he sees that Adam is happy. I didn't put him there to be happy. I'll put a stop to that. And God, during the night, sneaks down like a thief and steals, doesn't ask, doesn't request, steals it. His rib. And from his rib, he makes woman. And Adam wakes up in the morning, he's a real thickie. He's lying there, and and there's somebody else, he doesn't say, where did you come from? How the hell did you get here? Where did you get those lumps? Just goes out and goes gardening. And God comes down and has a conversation with Eve and tells her that she can eat of any fruit in the tree in the whole garden with the exception of one fruit tree. He's talking to a woman. He actually tells her not to eat of the fruit. And then when she said, which tree can't I eat? He said, that one over there. He points it out to her. It's worse than President Reagan and Iran. And when he goes and hides, and she sneaks up to the tree, and a snake comes down and has a conversation. A snake. Now, if I see a snake, I'll back off. One starts talking, I'll crap myself. And the snake actually convinces her to eat the apple. And she eats the apple. And when she eats the apple, she learns shame. That's what happens when you eat apples. Now, she's not ashamed that she's disobeyed God or that she's eaten the apple. She's ashamed of one part of her body. That's all. She becomes ashamed of that area of the body. Now, why that area? Why not her elbow? Her nose. Do you actually realize that if Eve had been ashamed of her nose, every woman in the world now would be ashamed of your noses. You'd all be sitting here tonight with little nose knickers on. Men would be in nightclubs watching totally naked ladies with G-strings on the nose. Take them off. Oh, I saw a nose. Oh. And this is the book. This is the book that you'll go into court and place your hand upon. And swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Now we actually come to that group of miscellaneous sketches that I've never been able to find an introduction to. Tonight is no different. And how name you this child?
Victoria Mary Ann.
Victoria Mary Ann. I baptize this child Victoria Mary Ann. And may God bless her and all who say this happy.
When we get to the shop, I'm going to get you some of those brickies. You know the coconut ones? Oh, good boy. Do your job. It's good boy. Will you? Got your mummy into trouble. Where's the key? I know. Mummy, clear this up. Nobody will ever know, will they? Come on, buddy. Morning.
You've got a time on you.
Oh!
What was got in hand now? Wait. Come on. Wait. Well, you promised 50-50. I enjoyed that. and gentlemen, we're very close to the end of the year. We're even closer to the end of the show. And there's just about time for one last sketch.
Quickly! Quickly! Shall we go? Hooray! Quickly! His tickets don't get them! Back, you fool! Back! Drive on, Boris! Drive on! Bastard! Revolution! Faster! Kill the rich! Kill the rich! Stop! Stop! Go back, Boris! Quickly! Good night. Happy New Year. Take care, and may your God go with you.
And as we said at the beginning, that show was first seen on New Year's Eve.